A South African company can be 99% black-owned, employ hundreds of black workers, possess the highest possible BEE rating, and offer the government the best services at the lowest price. And soon, none of that may even matter, because under radical new procurement regulations recently drafted by the National Treasury, even such companies will in the future be completely barred from competing for designated state contracts simply because the remaining 1% of their ownership happens to belong to the wrong racial or gender category. Stay tuned, because in today's video we are going to highlight how this new Black Economic Empowerment regulation is developing into a mechanism to exclude 99% of South Africans, regardless of their race or sex, from qualifying for government tenders, and how this serves to enrich a very small group of politically connected elites at the top. You see, the draft BEE regulations recently released by the National Treasury would allow the South African government to continue to bar any business that is not 100% owned by black women from even applying for any state contracts worth up to 20 million or around 1.3 million US. According to the new draft General Public Procurement Regulations for 2026, the government could henceforth be allowed to classify any contracts up to 20 million rands as especially set aside for particular categories of people based on their race and their gender and disabilities. In other words, when the government sets aside a particular tender or project for black women, any company that is not 100% owned by a black woman would automatically be barred from even applying for said contract in the first place. All of this goes far beyond the existing Black Economic Empowerment structure, which is based on a point system where a company may lose preference points because of its ownership profile not being black enough, but can still ordinarily submit a responsive bid and compete on things like price and the quality of their product or service. Yet, under this new proposed regulations, even a company that is 99% owned by black women and has only one owner out of 100 maybe that is not a black woman would therefore be completely disqualified from a tender specifically reserved for black women. All of this means that even the competitiveness of its price, its experience and track record, even its BEE level, and ultimately its ability to perform the work would all become completely irrelevant simply because of 1% of its ownership is not in the direct hands of the right race and gender. But this new proposed procurement regulations don't stop there. It would also legally require all government institutions to reserve a minimum proportion of their procurement budgets for selected categories, including targets of 30% for black people, another 15% for black women, another 18% for women in general. Of course, what this in effect means is that any company that has any white male ownership whatsoever will effectively be excluded from applying for any government contract below 20 million rands whatsoever. But of course, the restrictions would not end at 20 million rands. Contracts worth between 20 million and 100 million would generally become subject to preferential pre-qualification requirements, while contracts worth more than 100 million would require at least 25% of their value to be subcontracted to said designated businesses, as we explained earlier in the video. The result would be a fundamental shift from a system in which racial preferences simply had a major influence on a company's score to a system in which race and ownership can determine whether that company is permitted to compete in our economic system at all. What this means is that even a business that is majority black owned could maintain the highest possible standards, employ hundreds of people, offer government the lowest price, and possess decades of proven experience, yet simply because it has some share of white ownership, still be prohibited completely from competing for the procurement budget purely because it is not 100% in the hands of the designated group. Such companies were the bulk of the companies that had competed in these categories previously, but now all of them will be completely disqualified. And shockingly, what this entails is that even companies that have spent decades complying with the existing BEE system would now suddenly discover that all of that BEE compliance that they have built up over the last 3 decades is no longer any matter, unless their ownership satisfied the new absolute threshold, not the point system that it used to be. They would not merely lose all of their points, they would now be completely excluded from any consideration whatsoever. Now keep this in mind, this new legislation would not exclude just white business owners. It would exclude the vast majority of successful black, colored and Indian entrepreneurs in this country as well. Any black business owner who has built a company together with a white or a colored or Indian partner would fail the 100% black ownership test, and any black woman who shares any ownership with a black man would fail the 100% black woman-owned test. And any woman who has even a 1% male shareholder in her company would fail the 100% woman-owned requirement. Even businesses that are 99% owned by the designated group, employ overwhelmingly the designated group, and hold excellent BEE ratings under the previous system would still now be completely disqualified. In practice, therefore, these new rules would not merely distinguish between white businesses and black businesses as it used to. They would exclude virtually every company with a mixed ownership structure from any tenders reserved for this racial or gender category. In short, all the black people in this country owning businesses with any partners not from the very specific designated black group of any specific contract will henceforth be excluded from even applying for any contract. Just take a moment and contemplate this for a second. A tender specifically reserved for a 100% black women-owned company would exclude basically the entire private sector of this country altogether. I mean, how many businesses are there that are 100% black and female owned that would be able to compete for a 20 million rand contract with the state? Imagine a tender going out in which the designated group is black women for, let's say for example, wastewater systems, or advanced engineering, or high voltage infrastructure for Eskom, or specialized medical equipment, or enterprise IT. How many companies do you think there are that would even be able to compete here? And frankly, how many black women in this country will be excluded from benefiting from these tenders simply because they happen to work for a company or manage a company or even own a share in a company that does not meet the absolute requirement? How many black women might be a partner of someone who does not meet this requirement and would still be completely excluded? The answer is quite simply that the new proposed BEE regulations will exclude virtually everybody, regardless of race, from these designated tenders. But beyond this, beyond just the exclusion and the blatant racial and even gender discrimination inherent to these proposed regulations, the economic impact of this disastrous piece of legislation that is currently being proposed is that it would negatively impact the entire economy for everyone. This is because by knowingly and purposefully reducing a number of companies permitted to compete for state contracts, the government would effectively destroy all competitive pressure that normally force suppliers to lower their prices and improve their services. When the most affordable or most capable supplier is completely excluded before the offer is even considered, the government will be forced to choose a smaller and potentially more expensive pool of bidders that might have previous knowledge of such cases. This creates fertile ground for inflated prices, for much weaker performance than we are even seeing right now, and further tender manipulation by the governing party and whatever party in power. And who is going to pay for all of this, you might ask? Us, the taxpayer, of course. But the economic consequences of these regulations could spread considerably further even. Businesses excluded from government procurement would have less incentive to expand, to invest, or employ additional workers, while companies selected primarily through protected procurement categories, as is now proposed, would face much less pressure from their strongest competitors. The state would therefore be sacrificing open competition and value and labor for money in pursuit of increasingly rigid racial targets, potentially paying more for poor outcomes at precisely the moment when South Africa's public finances and basic services can least afford it, while all of it is actually falling apart. We at the Willem Petzer Group have always been committed to fighting these draconian measures one after the other as they come, tooth and nail, and we will never allow these destructive regulations to simply pass by unnoticed. The next step in the process for us and for the Treasury is to submit the proposed final version to Parliament for scrutiny at least 30 days before promulgation. No date has yet been announced for that stage, but we will be sure to keep you updated on this channel as the process unfolds and when you can actually participate and give your grievances to the state as to why this law should not be passed. Support us in the work that we do and help us take this media company to the next level and help us fight cases like this before they even become legislation by becoming a patron of the Willem Petzer Group today. Simply follow these easy steps on the banner below, and for a very small monthly contribution, you can also make your voice heard. All that these new regulations would do, if implemented, is hurt us ordinary South Africans, and even ordinary South Africans of all races, even more than they are currently hurt within the current system, while helping a handful of politically connected elites wrangle their way into shady and lucrative deals with the government over and over. Because ultimately what BEE increasingly does is exclude all of us who don't have direct connections to a few corrupt cadres in high-end political circles. One of the timeless contributions we make on this channel is to chronicle and document how the BEE dispensation has gotten increasingly worse over the last few decades, first under the ANC and even now under the GNU. In this regard, you might be interested in revisiting our research report from around 12 months ago on how extensive black economic empowerment legislation in this country is becoming and how it ultimately benefits only the select group of elites. You can do so by clicking on this link appearing on your screen right now, and we do genuinely believe that you will benefit a lot from this information in this report. And if you watched today's video all the way to the end, we want to thank you for the interest and the gift of your time. Goodbye and God bless.